What's going on, everybody? My name is Jake, and welcome to the UFC Mexico recap. UFC Mexico just ended last night. I'm recording this on the Sunday after. Hope to get this up on Monday or Tuesday. Another losing card, unfortunately. We'll have the updated ROI so far for this year. Still in the green, but back-to-back weeks of losing cards. Just the name of the game. I'm not mad at the plays, and honestly, it really came down to one fight that had us in the green or the negative. So we'll get to that. But overall, it was a pretty fun card. Some fun fights, but also some that were like, we need to trim the fat, so to speak, on some of the guys in the UFC. But also saw, some promising performances from younger guys. So yeah, let's hop straight into it. Starting off with Damian Pinos and Wesley Schultz. Like I said, my main play in this was Pinos by knockout TKO, and that's exactly what happened in the first round. As soon as he defended a couple takedowns and had Wesley Schultz rocked, you could tell Schultz had nothing for him on the feet. And Pinos, this guy has clear big power. He knocked him out pretty easily. Made it look easy. That was a really, really good performance for him. I had the bonus bets on Wesley Schultz by sub in round one and by decision because I thought those were his best paths to victory. If this fight was going to go to decision, it meant that he was racking up control time on the ground. That's why you use the bonus bets on it. But the play of Pinos by KO TKO hit, so we got this card off to a good start. The next fight was Francis Marshall and Eric Silva, and Eric Silva hit that spinning heel kick, 3 seconds into the fight, and we're like, holy fuck, this might be a huge upset. But then Francis Marshall just ate it and then completely took over, got the submission round one. Like I said, I had the Marshall money line parlay piece when he was minus 530. I thought about playing his sub at plus 110, but I could have also saw him, getting the knockout. So I did late on, add the Marshall by finish, which was minus 240 with a parlay piece to the next fight. Basically, I had the Marshall by finish, and then I parlayed it with a line here on this next fight that we'll talk about. But really good performance for him. Feel good for him because he got robbed, in my opinion, his last time out. It was close with Myron Santos, but he was a big underdog in that fight and really showed out. So for him to get a dominant win like that, feel good for him. Next was Aneshta Karaskete versus Regina Tahin. When the fight started, I really regretted playing Karaskete by decision because I thought with this super hyped female prospect in front of her home crowd, the judges would probably be on some suspect shit if it even did go. Well, obviously it did go to decision. Excuse me. But if it was close, it probably would have went Tahin's way. That's why I played her spread as a parlay piece with Francis Marshall moneyline. So another play I had on this was obviously the over 2.5 rounds, which I wasn't sure for a little bit. They were swinging. Thought we might get a finish there, but thankfully not. And, we cashed the two parlay pieces on this. Again, one was a late ad that I didn't have in the initial breakdown. It was just that and Francis Marshall by finish. I just added those on just because it was kind of my way of hedging. I thought Francis Marshall would win by finish, but I didn't know which way. So I wanted to play that somewhere. And then the Tahin spread was like my way of hedging a bet that I thought was good when I initially placed it, but then I didn't feel great about it. So it worked out there. That was the two of those combined together were minus 125. So, but yeah, she, wasn't like a, technically amazing fight, but she showed out in front of her home crowd, and maybe that's a star in the making there. Okay, I need to make sure I get the correct bout. I believe the next fight was Quinones and Moutinho, which if that's the case, then I've got something to say about both of those fighters. UFC Fight Night. Sorry for this little pause here. No, it's Javier Reyes and Douglas Silva de Andrade. Yeah, Javier Reyes by KO, TKO, or decision. Obviously knocked him out with, or got the TKO with a second left. Um, yeah, I mean, when this fight first came out, like I said, I was initially leaning towards Dejan Andrade just because of the experience and the high level fighters he's been against. But I just can't back a 40-year-old fighter. And Javier Reyes got an impressive knockout in Contender Series. And like I said, he's not like one of those guys that typically make their debuts where he's had like 8 or 9 professional bouts. At that point, he had 27. This was his 28th. So, big win for him against at least a respected veteran name. So we'll see what he does. But yeah, we had him KO, TKO, or decision. Unfortunately, the alternate double chance didn't go my way. I don't think either the alternate double chances went my way, unfortunately. I think it was that and then the main event that I had the alt double chances on. So yeah, first time this year that those haven't cashed for me, but it is what it is. Next fight is Christian Quinones and Chris Moutinho. Dude, get Chris Moutinho out of the fucking UFC, man. This guy just he pisses me off to watch him fight, and just looking at him, he pisses me off. Like, he sucks. Quinones really isn't much better. I mean, I don't know why he kept going for takedowns. I think someone on the broadcast was saying the same thing. When Moutinho, he was hitting him the whole freaking fight, and Moutinho has no striking defense whatsoever. So, yeah, I didn't really get anything out of this as far as the betting goes, because I said Quinones was on 2 years ring rust, not worth laying minus 600. I thought he'd knock out Moutinho because I thought he was going to walk forward like he always does and get caught, which is true to some extent. He was walking forward the whole fight, and then, yeah, so that was a fight that just made me want to watch literally anything else. But, I mean, I guess good for Quinones getting the win in front of his home crowd. But, no. Eileen Perez and Macy Chasson. This fight I was looking like a genius after the first round. Just like the Julius Walker take, back on, what was that? UFC Vegas 113. It was looking good, and then Perez started taking over at the takedowns. But, I was playing the most stakes on this on the fight to go the distance or the over 2.5 rounds, and then the Chasson spread for the parlay pieces. So, yeah, I didn't have the nuts to put a lot on Chasson to win, but I did think it was going to be 29-28 either way. So we did hit on that. So this fight actually worked out pretty well for me. But yeah, boy, she has been such a letdown in the UFC, Chasson that is. And Eileen Perez, she just keeps twerking her way to victories. So, yeah. Next fight, I didn't even see this one because I was with my girlfriend's family, and we were getting ready for dinner. And this fight was just about to come on, and I was watching on my phone. I put my phone in my pocket for literally 2 minutes so I could get my plate of food and, get set up where I wanted to sit and everything. And by the time I pulled my phone out again, Ryan Gondra was giving his post-fight speech. I put my phone in my pocket when he was walking out when he was just about to walk into the cage, and when I pulled out, he had already won. He wins with a knockout in 41 seconds. Get Jose Medina out of the fucking UFC. There's no reason he should be here. Again, say what you want about Jalton Almeida, Javi Basharat, all those, Rinat Fakhretdinov. At least those guys are good fighters. I know Almeida looked like shit in his last couple, but this guy fucking sucks. Jose Medina, he should never be in the UFC again. Yeah. Good for Ryan Gondra, I guess, but I'm not going to give him too much flowers for knocking out maybe the worst UFC fighter in the last, 3 years. So, anyway, main card opener, Santiago Luna. I guess on that last fight, we hit the Gondra knockout TKO prop. So, my bonus bets on the big underdogs, Moutinho and Medina by decision. Like I said, we have to play those, just for the value. Neither of those hit, but I wasn't expecting them. That's why we only put the bonus bets on there. But if they would have, that would have been sick. There was one that I thought was going to hit later that we'll get to, but Santiago Luna, speaking of bonus bets, I knew Angel Pacheco was really tough, so I did have a plus 410 by decision play here. And, Luna, when he first opened up, was like minus 480, so that's kind of a hefty parlay piece, but maybe you could justify it. By the time this fight closed, I believe he was up to minus 800, which is just absurd. But I think this was 30-27 all the way around. He looked really good. I think he probably could have gone to the grappling game more instead of standing and trading with Pacheco, because Pacheco, even though he does get hit, I mean, he'll stand in there and give a punch back. So I thought Luna maybe could have found the finish if he went to the wrestling more, but either way, he gets it done pretty easily. And unfortunately, we did not hit obviously the under 1.5 rounds or, the Luna by finish parlay piece, but I did sprinkle that decision line because I knew Pacheco was tough as hell. He's not a good fighter, but he's tough. So next Mexican prospect looked really hairy for him. Imanol Rodriguez was dropped twice in round 1 and then got a takedown and controlled Borjas for the next 2.5-3 minutes. And then in round 2, he had a glancing blow to Borjas' head, and there was a delayed reaction. He sunk to the ground, and Rodriguez finished it from there. I was really, really hoping, especially after Rodriguez got dropped twice in the first round and then getting the takedown, and obviously he could hold down Borjas pretty easily. I thought in round 2 he would come out and, go with the wrestling more and find that submission. We had the sub plus 550 play. But, he gets the win, and he gets the win by finish. So good for him for rallying. I mean, Borjas, like I said, isn't terrible. So I thought maybe he'd give him a run for his money. And he certainly did. He almost got him out of there. But credit to Rodriguez, a 21-year-old fighter, to respond to that adversity. And, not only come back, but to finish your opponent that was a really cool thing to see. And then I think he called out Josh Fan in the post-fight presser. Brother, if you're getting knocked down twice by Kevin Borjas, not that I don't think that he's going to be good. I think he's going to be really good, but he ain't nowhere near ready to fight Josh Fan yet. But good for him to rally and get a finish. Edgar Chairez and Felipe Buniz. Chairez was one of my more confident picks, and yes, he won. And we pretty much cashed on all fronts on his fight. But boy, was it close. Buniz was backpacking him all the first round, and then they were kind of trading the second and third. And I thought it was 29-28 Chairez. Obviously biased a little bit because of my betting, but just watching it, in my opinion, I thought he won rounds 2 and 3. But it was fucking close, and I think he won because he had a couple moments after he got nut-shotted or something that caused a timeout. He come out with the last 11 or 10 seconds in round 2 and had Buniz wobbled. I think that right there won the round for him in the two judges' eyes that gave him that round. And then Buniz thought he got eye poked in the third. The ref clearly said it wasn't eye poke, and then I think Chairez wobbled him after that as well. So credit to Buniz. He was saying, hey, let's trade, after having so much success, being that backpack in round 1. And Chairez did defend takedowns pretty good from that point on. But this was close, man. I thought it was going to be Chairez. Again, maybe if this was outside of Mexico, who knows? Might have went Buniz's way, but we cashed there, and that was lucky. Next fight, not so lucky, but I didn't have a ton of stakes on it. Fucking Daniel Zellhuber and King Green. Daniel Zellhuber fucking sucks, man. He's a fraud. This dude can't beat 40-year-olds. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do now. If he's got to change weight classes or what. But he has just been such a letdown. Not only just his last 3 fights, but just in general. I mean, he was getting styled on by King Green. King Green was emoting on him, talking shit, and then he gets the knockout in round 2. I had King Green by decision bonus bets. That thing was going to hit easily. If Zellhuber would have survived those last 10 seconds, King Green probably would have just danced around. Well, maybe not. I can't say that. He probably would have tried to knock him out. But he'd at least be up 2-0 and know that, hey, just don't do something stupid. I'll get the win here. And then we would have cashed King Green by decision at plus 550. I don't know what the knockout odds were, but I was expecting so much from Zell Huber. Home crowd kind of back against the wall off of his last two performances, and now what the hell does this guy do? He looked like absolute shit, looked so hesitant to throw, not confident at all, and King Green was just over there styling on him, and then he gets the knockout. So maybe send this guy to PFL, who knows, but yeah, he's pretty dog shit, and he's officially going on the never bet list. I don't care if he's fighting the a 16-year-old like amateur fighter. I'm not betting on Daniel Zellhuber, so I thought the value was good enough. You know, the knockout or decision basically were the only two paths to victory I saw him from. Maybe you could say he could grapple, but took his money line from minus 500 or 510 all the way down to minus 290 or 260. At fights close, he was down to minus 380, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot of money coming in on King Green, and sure enough, those people are right. So if you're one of those who bet on King Green, good for you. I had the bonus bet for him to win by decision, and he just had to knock him out. Otherwise, I think, well, again, he would have had a whole nother round to knock out Zellhuber, which could have very well happened. But yeah, get this guy to PFL or something. Good for Bobby Green, man. Next fight went absolutely perfect for me. The co-main event, Martinez and Chito Vera. I think everyone who has seen Chito Vera fight recently knew this was going to happen. Come out the first two rounds, he was going to start slow. David Martinez was so much faster on the feet. Did such a good job of just getting in and out of there with his exchanges and combinations. Won the first two rounds easily. Had some takedowns in there as well. Just looked so much faster, and then the message to him was, hey, just don't let Chito Vera finish you. And Chito Vera was landing in round three and won round three. No one can dispute that. But once again, you drop the first two rounds and then you lose a decision 29-28. We hit on all fronts here. This fight went perfectly for me. And it was, if this was the main event, it would have capped out a pretty solid night. But the main event, Brandon Moreno and Loner Kavanagh. Props to Loner Kavanagh, man. Getting knocked out by Charles Johnson, then taking a short notice fight at elevation against a legend at flyweight, albeit we can probably make the determination that he is washed, Brandon Moreno that is, but Kavanagh dominated this fight. I thought it was 49-46, and that's someone who had Moreno to win this fight. Maybe you could say 48-47, but I thought it was 49-46. And even the home crowd judges couldn't steal that fight from Kavanagh. What an excellent performance. And yeah, I didn't hit anything on this fight. The under, Moreno by finish, Kavanagh by knockout, or Moreno by sub. Nothing hit. And like I said, something I need to do is maybe have a little less stakes in the main events of fights. Because at the end of the day, whoever you're fading in the main event, you're most likely fading the second best or maybe even the best fighter on that card. So, or I can just hedge my money a little bit better. Because, yeah, it was kind of a buzzkill because, you know, like I said, I was shaping up to have a profitable card. And then, you know, Moreno got dominated. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I lost fucking $27. So am I going to be super upset about it? Am I going to lose sleep? No. But still doesn't feel good. I'm trying to win money. I don't care if it's fucking $2, you know? I'm trying to be in the green. But anyway, props to Loner Kavanagh. What's crazy is now he's going to be in the top 6 at flyweight, and he has 11 professional fights. And, yeah, that was his first ranked win. So I could see them maybe giving him Brandon Royval. Who knows? For Brandon Moreno, I don't know what he's going to do now. It sucked to see because I like Brandon Moreno, but he got completely outclassed in that fight. The leg kicks and couldn't do anything with the takedown. So, yep. That capped off what was almost a profitable night. And, yeah, I just had a little bit too much invested in Brandon Moreno. I just wasn't buying into Loner Kavanagh. And it bit me. But, you know, at the end of the day, I can live with it. And we'll try to rebound again. So, yeah, that'll do it for the UFC Mexico recap. again, if you're tailing the plays I put out there, I'm disappointed too. I'm sorry they haven't been hitting, back-to-back weeks in the red, but it's just part of the game. If you faded me and made some money, good for you. Try to rebound on UFC 326. I'll have same type of schedule. I'll put that out on Thursday or Friday, and hopefully, the numbered cards. We've been profitable both numbered cards. That's me knocking on wood. So hopefully, third time's a charm there, and we can get back on the positive side of things. But not that I try to justify or cope with anything, but a lot of people seem to be going through rough stretches with the UFC betting. So, and that's just how it goes, especially in a volatile sport like this. So, not going to be too dejected about it. We're going to keep pumping this content out. And, again, being honest and transparent is the most important thing for me. So, anyway, that'll do it. I'll see you guys later this week for the UFC 326 picks and predictions. Goodbye.